What's good, YouTube? So on today's video, it is going to be a little bit different from normal. I had a long form sit down conversation with my homie YBC2 Code. He's another young entrepreneur, young hustler, just like myself. And on this video, we dive deep into the matters of masculinity, self-improvement, how to start your own first business, how to escape from the matrix, how to establish yourself as a man, how to build a better dating life, how to escape from pornography addiction. We dive deep into so many some of the most important aspects of self-improvement for young men. So I want you to start out right now by watching part 1 of the video, which is hosted on YBC2 Code's channel. You can watch that right here. On that first part of the video, we dive deep into entrepreneurship and how to establish yourself financially, and what steps we personally took to begin moving outside of the financial matrix per se. And then after you finish watching that part, the first part of the video, come back here and watch part 2. Advance warning, the video quality of this video is it leaves a bit to be desired. We had some technical difficulties on the video quality, but the actual content of the video is so powerful. So again, ignore the video quality, listen to the content and listen to the audio, and that is where the value is going to be found. Anyways, never forget that consistency creates kings. And if you're not consistent in the areas of your life that matter the most to you, then you are never going to see results in your life. Peace out, brothers.
And one of the biggest differences I notice is men who work a 9-to-5 job typically feel like they have to go to work. Men who start their own ventures and go and do online businesses want to work. That's the biggest difference. We want to sit down and hustle and get on the grind and actually achieve something. Whereas when you're in the 9-to-5 system, more often than not, unless you're actually like doing something you love, like if you're a doctor and you actually have a passion for, I don't know, fucking dentistry, then be my guest. But if you're like more often than not, bro, and that's the thing I'm scared about is I'm still a full-time university student. I go to University of Toronto. I'm a math major, computer science minor. So I feel like I'm still kind of like, I'm 1 foot out of the matrix, 1 foot in the matrix. You know, I'm not fully outside of the matrix yet. As corny as that sounds, I feel like I want to take that next step, but bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm scared. I'm scared shitless of like fully committing to something that, because I've been indoctrinated with this mindset of take the safe route, get the degree. YouTube may not pay off. Like YouTube may not pay off. Your side business may fail. Your life may fail if you don't get that safety net. How did you break out of that mental prison? Because I'm struggling to break out. I feel like I'm still like attached to the matrix, and I'm trying so hard to unplug, but I can't. So what's your advice?
Yeah, that's a very fair position to be in, and I think so. I think that many guys in this world, they want results too quickly. I think that we should absolutely strive to achieve superb levels of success in our life in every area, whether that's financially, fitness, every aspect of life we should try to excel within. But with that being the case, we should still kind of recognize what the averages are. So a few months back, I spent some time just looking over like what the median income was in different areas of the world. In America, the average median income for the guys who were 20 to 24 was like $2,000 a month. By age 30, that increased up to about $3,000 a month. And at age 45, the peak median income was around $4,000, like $4,200 a month. So the average income is quite low in America, and that applies to most areas of the world. So although we should aim for extreme success financially, we should still kind of look at what the averages are, I think, and realize that it takes time to build a massive business. It takes time to build something different from the norms, from the masses. And I think it would be good to begin a business right now and to get started on that while you're in your university stages, but it takes time for that to happen. Like, I don't think that it's always the wisest decision to just completely drop out of college, like the extremists say, because it is good on some level to have that backup. And it sounds weak to say that, but most of the people watching this aren't out of the ordinary. I can tell from talking to you that you are, but for the average guy watching this, they're probably not too far out of the ordinary. Mm-hmm. And if they were, then they probably wouldn't be watching this in the first place, in all honesty. They would be out achieving shit in their life. So for many guys, I would say that the best step that they can take right now is to actually just find a business opportunity that they can relate to, and then just dive deep into that. It's going to take time to see results. I wasn't self-sufficient for my businesses for about so for my first business, it took me about a year to make like real income. For my current business, it took me between 2 to 3 years to become fully self-sufficient from it. So it's not an overnight thing. And while someone's in college, or while they're in high school, or while they're working a day job, they can absolutely put in the work to build those side businesses and to build that side income. For me, I was in the military working on my current business, and I would go to work from 4 a.m. until 4 p.m. I would come home and work from 4:30 p.m. until around 8, 9 p.m. at night, just on my business. And that's how I built my business over time. And I had the safety net in the form of the military. Like they were covering my food, my housing, all of that, while I was building my business. And even when I started my first business, I was in high school, so I had safety net from my parents. They were covering my bills and everything. So I think we need to be realistic in realizing that it takes time to build something amazing. It's not an overnight thing like people make it out to be so often in these hustle culture circles.
Do you think failure is something that you should welcome when you first start your business? Like almost as if I'm starting this, I know that there's going to be war for a couple of years before I even reach half of what I want to reach. It's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations. It's going to be a lot of pain, a lot of loss, and a lot of just hard work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of sacrifice. Because if you don't go in with that mindset, then you're destined to fail. I think business is the ultimate form of testing your self-discipline. It's like a testament to how determined and how much you want it. Because I feel like the only difference between a business owner who fails and a business owner who succeeds is not necessarily how smart they are. There are some geniuses out there who have tried starting businesses and who have failed miserably. Obviously, the business model that you choose is important, right? You don't want to choose something unrealistically hard if you don't have the right tools to start off. But it's of utmost importance to know what you're getting into. It's not a walk in the park. It's much harder than the 9-to-5 route. That's the thing, bro. I hate it when people glorify entrepreneurship because it's like, oh, bro, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to drop out. But the truth is, you don't really understand how much harder it is to be an entrepreneur than to just be than to work at H&M for $20 an hour. Like, you don't understand. It's a lot harder. It's not for everybody. That's one thing people don't tell you is sometimes for a lot of people, you're better off just developing a high income skill, leveraging that and getting paid rather than actually becoming an entrepreneur. Because entrepreneurship comes with, like, you need to be built a certain way. You need to have a certain mindset, a certain taste for defeat. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That is so important, and it's so rarely talked about. Like, people really have this warped, toxic mindset toward entrepreneurship because they think that it's just a walk in the park and everything is just going to work out magically. It's going to be butterflies and rainbows from day one. And that's really not the case, bro. Like, I remember after I closed my first business, like, I was supposed to be going to college and I didn't want to do it because I just didn't feel like it was in alignment with my heart's purpose. And I was trying to find, like, the next step in my journey because I didn't have a business at the time. I wasn't going to college, so I had to do something. I was 19 years old, just confused as hell. And I was doing, like, stock trading and Forex trading at the time. And I remember I would go to my computer every day and, like, trade for an hour or so, lose a bunch of money, come back, and I would literally, like, just turn off the light in my room and just sit in my bed, like, sad as hell. And this went on for months and months and months. And I just fell into this deep depression, like just trying to figure out what I was doing with my life and like who I really was. Cause I knew that I was supposed to accomplish something in my life, but nothing was working. Like what was going on? And when you're on the entrepreneurial struggle, like those early stages of entrepreneurship, you are going to go through so much shit and you are going to get challenged to your core and you're going to fall flat on your face multiple times. And I consider myself a very strong man, but like I would literally just sit in my room sad as fuck all day long on many occasions. So it truly is a challenge to your core. But it's also a growth process because through that, you are forced to look yourself in the face and just question if you truly are who you say you are. If you truly are the man who you think you are at your core, or if you're just kidding yourself.
Yep.
So it's very well said.
Very, very well said. Would you agree with the quote, life is less about what you want and more about how much pain you're willing to endure? Because people who go into entrepreneurship expect it to be, like you said, a walk in the park, smooth sailing, nothing's going to go wrong. But in actuality, there's a lot of crashes. There's a lot of times where you're going to feel like giving up. And I think the most important thing is to approach it with almost a stoic mindset. I'm sure you've heard of the philosophy of stoicism. To understand that there will be lows, there will be failure. You might get paid like over 10K in 1 month and then $100 the next month. There's no consistency, there's no stability. But your ability to overcome that, to overcome the uncertainty with being an entrepreneur, will ultimately make you like actually built for it. That's how you know that your heart is in the right place. But let's transition the topic because we've been talking a lot about entrepreneurship and I don't want to take up too much of your time. So there's just a couple more things I want to talk about and then I'll let you go, bro. I'll let you go. NoFap, right? Let's get into NoFap for a sec because this is something that, like, if I make a video title with NoFap in the title, for some reason the views just explode compared to my other videos.
Yeah.
Like, people love NoFap, bro. People love it. Bro, I'll tell you a bit about my story with NoFap, and I want to ask you a couple questions. So for me, I started when I was around 14. I found out about NoFap when I was 14 on a subreddit. Realized that there's benefits. Realized that I've been draining myself for my entire life. That's the reason that I lack productivity, that I lack motivation, and that I can't get anything done. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start NoFap. I start NoFap. I get to like a week, I relapse. Get to 2 weeks, I relapse. I've been relapsing since I was 14 until I was like 18. No success. The longest I've gone was like 3 months. I kept falling back. Like, I didn't understand why, but I kept relapsing. And then something hit me. I was like, I've been watching so many NoFap videos. I've tried everything. I've tried the cold showers. I've tried the push-ups. I've tried the transmutation exercises. I keep relapsing. I keep going back to porn. What is wrong with me? And I think that there's a negative feedback loop that's associated with NoFap. You feel good when you're on the streak. And then as soon as you relapse, you lose your confidence. You lose your ability to maintain eye contact. You lose everything, your energy. So do you think that NoFap as a community is flawed? Do you think, or is it just me who thinks that counting the days, obsessing over this idea of not fapping, trying not to fap is counterintuitive to actually quitting forever? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so that's good. That's good. And it's funny because I literally just made a video like 2 days ago that was titled "Stop Counting the Days of NoFap."
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely on the same page as you. I think that the idea of basing your life around the number of days that your streak is it's silly. It's the silliest thing in the world. And I think that guys, so there's absolutely power. There's absolutely power in getting away from the pornography and retaining your seed. There's so much power in that. But when that becomes your sole focus and you feel like a failure if you mess up or anything like that, then it becomes toxic in a way. Mm-hmm. And I think that for me, what really changed my results when it came to NoFap and when it came to, you know, building a life where I didn't feel the need to even watch porn anymore, the biggest change for me was when I stopped counting the days, like you said, and I stopped calling myself, I stopped thinking about myself being on NoFap, and it just became my lifestyle. And I focused more so on building an all-around life that I enjoyed living, and not so much on NoFap. Like when your focus becomes building a beautiful life, a life where you have, you know, financial abundance, where you have women, where you have genuine friends in your life, where you have hobbies, where you have a healthy mindset. When you have all those things, NoFap just, or pornography rather, it just naturally slides into the background. But when you focus obsessively on your NoFap streak, then you're just constantly reminding yourself that you're almost missing out on something. Like you're telling yourself innately that, oh, porn is too amazing. I can't stay away from it forever. So I'm on streak day 72, and you're telling yourself that you're gonna fail at some point, because if it was actually what you're gonna do forever, then why would you count the days? Do you count the days that you breathe air? Do you count the days that you drink water? Like no. So why do you count the days of NoFap?
You know what's funny?
Silly.
You know what's funny, man, is I used to attribute like all of my self-worth to NoFap. It came to like an obsessive point. If I was on day 30, I would be I'd be a completely different person to the day 0 me versus day 30 me. They're two completely different people. And I realized something really important, right? I was thinking for a bit. I'm like, I wish I didn't know about like all the extra benefits of NoFap. Like, you know how people will tell you about women attraction? One of the biggest reasons I got on NoFap is I'm like, bro, people are like, bro, you're going to get more hoes on NoFap. Girls will start looking at you more. That was the biggest reason. And I started to feel like I was like a super sane when I was on NoFap. And as soon as I relapsed, I'm back to like some lanky, like some weak individual. So knowing about the benefits in and of itself is a double-edged sword. Obsessing over NoFap is a double-edged sword. The time where I've had the most success in my life, ironically, as weird as it sounds, with NoFap, and I don't even know what day I'm on, but I'm past this shit, bro. I don't watch porn. I don't fap anymore. I'll tell you right now, the time I've had the most success in my life was when I stopped caring about NoFap, was when I literally just gave up on NoFap. I put it in the back burner. I'm like, let me focus on what I can do. Because the problem with NoFap is it has a no in it. It's like you're focusing on what not to do. Instead of focusing on what not to do, focus on proactive things. And that is the key right there. That's what changed everything for me. So I stopped, like, and I did relapse. Like, your brain is still addicted, so naturally you're going to relapse, but you'll start to realize you'll stop binging. Because what I used to do is I used to binge a lot. And then eventually it'll gradually reduce to the point where it's like, shit, bro, like NoFap is natural for me. It's second nature. So that's exactly what happened to me.
Let me ask you a question, because you said you started NoFap when you were 14. When did you start watching porn? Because 14 is pretty early for NoFap.
Oh man, when did I start watching porn? Probably when I was like 12.
Okay.
Yeah, 12 years old. Yeah. What about you? Like, you probably started later in life?
So I started watching porn when I was probably 11, 12, so pretty similar.
Yeah.
But I didn't discover NoFap until I was like 19. Yeah, it was, and I only discovered it because, bro, there's so many negative effects that come along with watching pornography. But one of the ones that hit me hard is like the first few times that I tried to have sex with girls, I literally could not get hard, bro. I could not stay hard. And it was the worst feeling in the world, like looking down at this beautiful girl. Well, they were kind of unattractive back then, if I'm being honest. But but looking down into a girl's eye and like, just.
I know, bro. I know.
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. So,
that's what it does, though. That's what it does. ED lowers your energy, like your testosterone just plummets. And yeah, man, like NoFap has incredible benefits, but I wish I didn't know about the woman attraction aspect. The woman attraction aspect is like the primary. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. When I was on a high streak, I had such a big ass ego. I would it was a good thing though. Like, it wasn't bad because I would be approaching, I'd be approaching with confidence and shit. And you know, from time to time, I'd get rejected. Like, a couple days ago, I approached this one girl at the gym. And I go up to her like with this masculine aura, bro. Like, before I approach a girl, I take a deep breath and I just go for it. So I'm like, hey, what's up? What's your name? She tells me her name. I talk to her a little bit. And then, like, before I walk off, I'm like, so what are you doing this weekend? And then this bitch just goes, sorry, I'm not interested, and just hops in the elevator and leaves, bro. I was like, damn, that shit hurt. But yeah, to get back to the point, you like, NoFap just gives you this aggression, this masculine aggression that you just can't have without it, bro. You just can't have it.
Absolutely. And I see so many guys like talking about how NoFap is like placebo and how it's like the benefits don't exist. Like, not only have there been scientific studies about it, but bro, you can feel the difference in your soul. Like, at least I can. I don't know if other guys are just magically like some fucking unicorns or what, but bro, every guy who I've talked to, we can feel the difference.
It's also in your eyes. It's also in your eyes. Yes. Like, you can tell just by looking at somebody's eyes. I look at myself in the mirror. I swear to God, bro, I don't know what it is. My eyes are just wider. They're glowing more.
Yes.
It's crazy, bro.
And it's amazing because, like, as a man on NoFap, when you walk down the street and you look other men in their eye, you can tell who watches porn and who doesn't just by how they carry themselves. Like, there's just a certain energy about men who choose to be sexually disciplined that men who don't have that, they just
it's slavery. It's honestly slavery. There's no other way to describe it. It's one of the worst things ever, just be chained to porn. But yeah, so we've talked about NoFap. The one more thing I want to talk to you about, and this is it. This is the last thing, I promise you.
No worries, brother.
Hamza, bro. I wanted to ask you about Hamza because Hamza has an ideology that I don't necessarily agree with. And I want to know your perspective. So his ideology basically says that life is a race, and the slower you run in that race, the more other men lap you, the more likely they are to like fuck your future wife and take the possessions that you could have had in the future. He sees life in an like ultra competitive, we're all fighting for the same thing kind of way. And to me, I like it because it kind of puts like, it kind of creates this aggression within you. Like, yeah, like I'm competing and I need to get what I need to get. But it's also like, I find it very nihilistic and a horrible way to look at the world. I don't know. What do you think about it? Like that specific race ideology?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So I think that for guys who are lacking purpose and drive in their life, which is a large part of Hamza's audience, that a message like that can be powerful. Because when men grow through competition, and when we feel like all the other men in the world are out to get us, and everyone around us is just, they're gonna fuck our bitch if we don't self-improve. And that helps to push many guys into a mind state of wanting to get things done in their life. So I think that it's a powerful tool in his case to get guys who are early on in self-improvement to get the spark lit in their life. But there absolutely comes a point in your life where you need to realize that everyone in this world isn't out to get you. There are many genuine quality men and women in this world. And I think that the red pill and Hamza, to a certain extent, they've made women out to be like these terrible creatures.
Yep.
And bro, there are so many absolutely amazing women in this world, like absolutely amazing women in this world. And to operate from the fear that your girl is just gonna cheat on you if you don't go to the gym every day, or if you don't have the perfect level of financial abundance, or if you don't have everything perfect in your life, bro, that's a sad way to live,
bro. Like, it's very sad because I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm also say this, right? It's very sad because people who listen to this ideology and who subscribe to it, what tends to happen is it creates a very hateful heart. Like you start to live with a lot of resentment. Like this is something that happened to me as well. I used to have the same mindset as Hamza, where I'm like, life is a race. Everyone around me is an enemy. All these men, I need to be better than them. I need to rise above them. And it's like, it strips you of building genuine connections with people who can actually help you, with people who can support you. Because it's like, why do I need to hate you? We can both get to the top. Like what? Like it's not on some like, if I'm up, then you can't be up. Like we can help each other out. So that's the problem with it. And then it's also like you said about women. Women are not these evil I guess to some extent they can be hypergamous, but for the most part, it's not as simple as oh, whoever has the best physique and has the most money and has this, she'll pick him over that other guy. Like, bro, there are some girls out here dealing with fucking crackheads, with people selling weed. It's not so black and white. So it's good in theory, and it helps people who are still in the like early stages of self-improvement. But I don't fully agree with the ideology. I think it does have some flaws.
And even on the idea of hypergamy, now that you bring that up, I think that guys they get into the red pill community, and they hear about hypergamy, and then they get red pill rage. And you got to realize, like, why are most men with women in the first place? Because we find them beautiful, because they're feminine, because they bring some type of value to our life. It is the exact same way with women, just for they value different things, so they want different things in a man. But just like we are, quote unquote, using them, they are, quote unquote, using us.
Yep.
We want beauty.
We're hypergamous with beauty. Yeah.
We're hypergamous. Like, everyone is hypergamous. Yep. Why would you want someone who brings absolutely nothing to your life? Are you going to be with an ugly chick who acts like a man and who tries to be dominant? Like, no, you're not. So why would she be? Women, everything about women is still driven by biology. Like, even though we live in this safe society nowadays where we feel like everything is just civilized and so safe, everything about them is still rooted in biology. So biologically speaking, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, if you were a weak, submissive man who couldn't produce anything for the family, she would die. She would cease to exist on this earth. So biologically, she needs a strong, dominant man who can provide. And for a guy to be mad about that is to be mad at reality, to be mad at nature. Like, just accept it for what it is and make yourself the best choice available.
Exactly. And you know what? I'll say that I've said this before and I'll say it again. The only cheat code to hypergamy, the only way you could bypass hypergamy is by being on, ironically, this is going to sound weird, but by being on semen retention, because I think attraction is not on the surface level. It can also reach spiritual depths. And when you actually retain your seed, you start to access a more spiritual side of the girl that none of these red pill guys can even comprehend. It's so deep. And when you actually start retaining your seed, and when you build up your aura and your energy, I don't know if you're a spiritual person, but I am. So when you build up that energy, that raw, innate, that aura within you, then that's honestly one of the best ways to attract women without, like, that's the closest thing you'll get to unconditional attraction. Because women can be attracted to you for your resources, your looks, your status, whatever. But on a primal, biological, evolutionary level, semen retention is what's truly going to rise you above even if the guy's richer than you, even if he's taller or buffer, I don't give a fuck, bro. It's just something there, bro. It's just something there.
Yeah. To speak on that real quick, when I was in jail, I was dating this chick, and we were dating before I went to jail, obviously, and I was in jail for 10.5 months, and the way that I carried myself when I was with her was just like the most primal, dominant sense I've been in, like, in my life up to that point in time. And obviously she didn't see me for 10.5 months while I was in jail. And during that time, like, some millionaire dude tried to pick her up and everything at the gas station. And she, like, told me about it and everything. And she was like, she just didn't go for it because the energy wasn't there. Like, so like you said, you can have someone who has so much more financially than you, and who is a better pick financially or in any other sense. But when you have that energy about yourself, they can't deny that. Like, that's the deepest sense of value about a man, because finances can be maneuvered. Fitness can be maneuvered, like, because they're steroids. You can steal. Like, there's so many ways to maneuver every aspect of life, but you can't hack your energy.
You can't.
You can't fake that.
You can't.
So when you have that masculine aura about yourself at the root, then everything else comes into place naturally.
There you go, man. It's been your boy, The Life of Woods, YBC to a call, man. Thank you so much for joining this call. I really appreciate you. Took around an hour and 10 minutes of your time. I appreciate you so much for calling, bro. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I guess we can call it a podcast because I mean I'm still gonna upload it on my channel. I don't know what I'm gonna title it yet or what I'm gonna do for the thumbnail, but we'll get into the nitty gritty of that later. But yo, I appreciate you so much, man.
Much love.
I'm gonna just end the call right now.
Love.
I'm gonna end the call right now and then I'll wait.